Alright class, let's get started. Last night's homework was to read the scene between Creon and Antigone.
Why are you so tired?
I stayed up late watching Catching Fire.
Now let's go over the scene. Rashav, would you mind reading the first line for Creon?
Yeah. What did you see? Did you catch her in the act?
You, with your eyes fixed on the ground. Do you deny you did this? Yes or no?
I did it. I don't deny a thing.
Tell me briefly then. No long speeches. Were you aware I had forbidden this?
Well aware. How could I avoid it? It was public.
And still, you had the gall to break this law?
Of course I did. It wasn't the gods, not in the least, who made this proclamation. Not to me. Nor did that justice dwelling with the gods, beneath the earth, ordain such laws for men. Nor did I think your edict had so much force that you, a mere mortal, could override the gods. The great, unwritten, unshakable traditions, they are alive, not just today or yesterday. They live forever, from the first of time, and no one knows when they first saw the light. These laws, I was not about to break them, not out of fear of some man's wounded pride and face the retribution of the gods. Die I must. I've known it all my life. How could I keep from knowing, even without your reaping ringing in my ears? And if I am to die before my times, I consider that a gain. Who on earth, alive in the midst of so much grief as I, could fail to find his death a rich reward? So for me, at least, to meet this doom of yours is precious little pain, that if I had allowed my own ally to rot an unburied corpse, that would have been an agony. This is nothing, and if my present actions strike you as foolish, let's just say I've been accused of folly by a fool.
She's like Hamish. Passionate, wild. She hasn't learned to bend before adversity.
No, believe me. The stiffest stubborn wills fall the hardest. Toughest iron, tempered strong in the white-hot fire. You'll see it crack and shatter, first of all. I'm with spirited horses. You can break with a light bit. Proud, rebellious horses. There's no room for pride, not in the slave, not with the lord and master standing by. This girl was an old hand at insolence when she overrode the edicts we made public. But once she had done it, the insolence, twice over, to glory in it, laughing, mocking us to our face with what she had done, I'm not the man. Not now. She is the man whose victory goes to her, and she goes free. Oh, but I hate it more when a traitor, caught red-handed, tries to glorify their crimes.
President Creon, what more do you want than my arrest and my execution?
Nothing. Then I have it all.
Why delay? Your moralizing repels me. Every word you say, pray God it always will. So naturally, all I say repels you too. Enough. Give me glory. What greater glory could I win than to give Rue decent burial? These citizens here would all agree. They would praise me too if their lips weren't locked in fear. Lucky tyrants, the perquisites of power, ruthless power to do and say whatever pleases them.
You alone, of all people in Panem, see things that way.
They see it just that way, but defer to you and keep their tongues in leash.
You, aren't you ashamed to differ so from them? So disloyal.
Not ashamed for a moment, not to honor a tribute, like my own flesh and blood.
Wasn't Marvel a tribute too, cut down, facing her?
Tribute, yes, chosen by the same hand.
How can you render his enemies such honors, such impieties in his eyes?
He will never testify to that, Marvel dead and buried.
He will, if you honor her just as much as him.
But it was his own fellow tribute, not some slave that died.
Ravaging Panem, but Marvel died fighting in our behalf.
No matter, death longs for the same rights for all.
Never the same for the powerful and the weak.
Who, Creon? Who on earth can say the ones below don't find this pure and uncorrupt?
Never. Once an enemy, never a friend. Not even after death.
I was born to join in love, not hate. That is my nature.
Cora, wake up.
Guys, I had the weirdest dream.
Okay, but Cora, you missed everything we've been talking about the entire class.
But I didn't. I had a dream. I was Katniss from Catching Fire, and he was President Snow.
What does that have to do with Antigone?
I was Katniss, but I was living Antigone's life.
How does that even work?
Well, like Katniss and President Snow, Antigone and Creon have a rocky relationship. Creon asserts his authoritative power to sentence Antigone for her wrong. Just like how President Snow tries to assert his power over Katniss after she defies him in the arena. Katniss is caught and Creon brings her to trial for her actions.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Yes, I know it does. Antigone and Katniss are so similar. In my dream, when Katniss was talking to Creon, Their contrasting attitudes showed her courage and confidence, just like Antigone. The plots are similar.
Cora, you've already fallen asleep in the class, and now you're talking too? I suppose you'd like to answer the question. What have we learned from this scene?
In Antigone by Sophocles, the titular character Antigone is forced to live with the turmoil caused by the discourse between her brothers and her desire to give her brother Polyneices a proper burial against the wishes of Creon, the king of Thebes. These troubling origins shape the way in which Antigone interacts with other characters and are highlighted when Antigone is brought before Creon, showcasing her defiance towards authority in response to the injustice her family faced. Antigone's story brings to light the timeless contrast between natural law and human law, and how individuals cannot be completely responsible for their actions as the grasp of fate takes hold of their lives.
Oh, wow. Very good, Cora. That was a surprisingly great analysis. Now let's talk about how Antigone's character development throughout the scene prompts a debate between natural law and human law within a society. Cora, do you want to tackle this one too?
I guess. A theme present within the scene is the conflict between natural law and human law. This can be seen when Creon asserts his own authority and Antigone follows the law of the gods and buries her brother, in defiance of Creon. Also, another theme that can be seen within this interaction is the conflict between fate and free will. Sophocles uses the story to have a discussion about an individual's internal struggle of either standing up to societal norms and doing what she thinks is right, or conforming and letting society decide the way you live. The eventual death of Antigone signifies Sophocles' belief that individuals should not challenge the status quo, and rather follow the rules of society in order to be accepted.
Very good, Cora. Now class, how does Antigone's past contribute to her as a character? Go ahead, Cora.
Well, Antigone's past is defined by her twisted family history, and highlighted by the division between her two brothers, which led them to killing each other in battle. This past sets up the conflict that Antigone must face, which is the law created by Creon forbidding the burial of her brother. This law challenges Antigone's sense of obedience to authority. "I've been accused of folly by a fool" shows her challenging Creon's authority. She is forced to become more defiant to the extent that she disregards Creon's laws and buries her brother.
And how is this displayed through this specific scene?
Well, this scene represents the culmination of Antigone's emotions, as she speaks her mind to Creon, like when she states, "It wasn't the gods, not in the least, who made this proclamation." She's not afraid to stand up to him and speak her mind. It best exemplifies how Antigone's frustration towards authority transforms her relationship with others. Her defiance for authority and value of natural law exemplify her as a character, and her desire to bring justice to her family stems from her tragic origins.
Interesting. How does this contribute to the piece as a whole?
Well, through Antigone's actions, Sophocles is able to indirectly characterize Creon. Essentially, Creon learns the lesson of the tragic hero after he stubbornly condemns Antigone, leading to the downfall of his family.
Very good, Cora. I'm both surprised and proud of your in-depth analysis of the text. But if you fall asleep in my class again, I'm afraid I'm going to have to give you a detention. Unfortunately, natural law doesn't come before human law in my classroom.